While you don't pick seventh cousins, you definitely do pick jobs. One job held by Obama's mother for a number of years was at the Ford Foundation. In a New York Times newspaper article by Obama worshipper Janie Scott, it is revealed that Barack Obama's mother worked for the Ford Foundation for an undisclosed number of years. Skull and Bones member McGeorge Bundy was the president of the Ford Foundation from 1966 to 1979. While at the Ford Foundation, Bundy also brought in another member of Skull and Bones, Harold Howe II, as vice president to assist him in recreating the Ford Foundation to better serve Skull and Bones. Two members of the Ford family quit the board of their own foundation in disgust, not wanting to be associated with the new direction they saw the foundation moving in. Then, of course, there are various other endorsements from Skull and Bones patriarchs. There was the endorsement of Barack Obama from Skull and Bonesman John Kerry, while Kerry's previous running mate, Senator John Edwards, was still in the race along with Hillary Clinton. There was an issue of Black Enterprise magazine, whose president, Earl Graves Jr., is a Bonesman, with Obama on the cover. Not to be outdone, Times Magazine, founded by two Skull and Bones patriarchs, has featured no less than 5 issues with Obama on the cover. Now it is necessary to give a fairly in-depth history of the University of Chicago. As Professor Anthony Sutton of Stanford University's Hoover Institute puts it, the University of Chicago itself has been founded with Rockefeller funds, through Frederick Gates and the Pillsbury family. Pillsbury Company was founded by Charles A. Pillsbury, whose son, John S. Pillsbury Jr., would go on to join Skull and Bones along with Edmund P. Pillsbury. One of Charles A. Pillsbury's brothers, George A. Pillsbury, was on the first board of trustees at the University of Chicago. Michelle Obama, as the Vice President for Community and External Affairs at the University of Chicago Medical Center, represents the Chicago Council on Foreign Affairs, an active offshoot of the Council on Foreign Relations. The University of Chicago also has the distinction of being one of the early breeding grounds for the neoconservative ideology to which the Skull and Bones-laden Bush administration has closely held. University of Chicago professor and neocon pioneer Leo Strauss was influential to many who would later go on to join the Bush administration. Neoconservative ideology can be summed up in the values put forth by a group called the Project for a New American Century. In fact, at least 11 PNAC participants are either current or former members of the Bush administration. One of the co-founders of PNAC is Robert Kagan, a member of Skull and Bones and one of the minority of Bonesmen to endorse and assist John McCain. Coming on board as a foreign policy advisor, one of the 3 out of 5 directors of PNAC, Bruce Jackson, Robert Kagan, and Randy Schuneman, to join the McCain campaign. You might be thinking, why all this information on the connections between Skull and Bones, neoconservatism, and the University of Chicago? Because in my house, dessert is served at the end of the meal, and we're going to follow that maxim. Austin Goolsbee is Barack Obama's longtime chief economic advisor and has taken a central position in the 2008 presidential election campaign, a role usually rewarded with a major administration or cabinet position. Goolsbee, the current Robert P. Gwynne Professor of Economics at the University of Chicago's Graduate School of Business, is a California native and a champion debater who previously coached the University of Chicago Debate Society. Speaking of societies, Austin Goolsbee is also a member of Skull and Bones. Once all the pieces of the puzzle come together and we take a step back to see what we have assembled, the picture is clear. Barack Obama is the candidate of change from a Republican Skull and Bones administration to a Democratic Skull and Bones administration. Only this time, he will have the blind support of the mindless masses in bringing in the New World Order.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one...
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America?